Welcome to this focus lesson from the IELTS Focus. Today, we are going to crack the code on one of the most common IELTS essay types, the advantages and disadvantages essay. We're not just talking theory here, we're giving you the exact language and strategies that examiners absolutely love to see. Okay, first things first, let's decode the question itself. You know, those first 30 seconds you spend just looking at the prompt, they can honestly be the difference between a good essay and a great one. And it all kicks off with one crucial skill. Paraphrasing.
So, here's the question we're tackling today. Now pay close attention to that one little word, outweigh. This isn't just asking you to make a simple list of pros and cons. No, it's asking you to be the judge, to weigh all the evidence and deliver a really clear verdict.
Now here's the number one mistake so many students make. They just copy words straight from the question. A top-scoring essay, though, immediately shows the examiner you have a rich vocabulary. How? By rephrasing the prompt in your own words. It is literally your first chance to impress them. And here is a perfect example of what I mean. Travel abroad to learn a foreign language becomes doing a language course overseas. See how simple that is? But it's so effective. It's elegant, it's precise, and it tells the examiner right away that you've got a strong command of English. That is a band 8 or 9 move, right from the very first sentence. All right, let's start building our case. A really great essay always looks at both sides, so we're going to start with the downsides. Let's dig into the common problems with studying abroad, and more importantly, the high-level vocabulary you need to describe them perfectly. Okay, so here are the 3 core disadvantages we're going to focus on. Grouping your ideas like this into these clear thematic points is so important. It makes your writing super logical and incredibly easy for the examiner to follow. So let's tackle that first one, the financial hit. So don't just say it's expensive. That's way too simple. A high-scoring answer breaks down what financial burden actually means. You talk about specifics like tuition fees and day-to-day expenses. This shows you can back up your main idea with real concrete examples, and that's a key part of the scoring. And then, after you've listed those specific costs, you can wrap up the point with a powerful little summary sentence. Something as simple as, "It may be too expensive for many," really drives the point home and lets you move smoothly on to your next idea. Okay, next up, the emotional toll. Look, anyone can write that students might feel lonely, but a band 9 candidate, they use a phrase like a sense of isolation. Can you feel the difference? It's just more precise, more academic, and it shows a much deeper understanding of that feeling. And here it is. This is the killer move. You don't just state the problem, you connect it directly back to the main topic. Loneliness isn't just a personal issue in this context, it can actually interfere with learning. And that phrase, defeating the object of the trip, wow, that's brilliant. It proves you're always focused on answering the exact question they asked. Okay, let's flip the coin and look at the other side of the argument, the rewards. Now remember, the best essays don't just have 2 separate lists of pros and cons. Instead, they create a kind of conversation between the two, showing how the advantages can actually solve some of the disadvantages. Let me show you what I mean. And here's that conversation in action. See? We already brought up the problem of cost. Now we counter it directly with a practical solution, getting a part-time job. This shows the examiner you're a critical thinker and you can see how these 2 sides of the argument are actually connected. And just like we did with the downsides, we're going to group the benefits into 3 main themes. But notice, these aren't just random points. They actually build on each other to create a really strong, compelling argument. This is so clever, isn't it? That part-time job doesn't just solve the money problem, it also helps solve the loneliness problem because it leads to social integration. Linking your ideas like this, showing cause and effect, is exactly how you build a complex, high-scoring argument. And now we get to the absolute heart of the academic argument, total immersion. This is the magic ingredient, right? It's not just about what happens in the classroom, it's about being surrounded by the language 24/7, using phrases like native speaker teachers and reaching a far higher level, really sells this as the ultimate advantage. And this phrase, it just ties everything together so beautifully. A richer language learning experience. It's the perfect summary. It tells the examiner that you get it, that learning a language isn't just about memorizing words from a textbook. It's about culture and connection and real living communication. So we've gone through a lot of really powerful language. Let's pull it all together into your personal vocabulary toolkit. The idea here is to have these phrases ready to go on exam day, right at your fingertips, so you can use them for maximum impact. Just think of this as your vocabulary cheat sheet for this specific topic. These aren't just fancy words, okay? They are targeted, specific phrases that scream high-level English. You've got to burn these into your memory because they really are your keys to unlocking a higher score. Okay, we've built our arguments for both sides, and now it's time for the final statement. Your conclusion is your mic drop moment. It's where you wrap everything up and leave that examiner with a clear, confident final impression of your skills. Just look at the power in this conclusion. That phrase, more than make up for, that's the key. It directly answers the outweigh part of the original question. It's a confident, decisive statement that clearly states your position, and that is exactly what a powerful conclusion has to do. Ultimately, mastering this type of essay isn't just about the vocabulary. It's about perspective. The techniques we've talked about today are your tools for sure, but the real magic comes from your own insights. And that's why I'll leave you with this final thought. The essay calls it an invaluable experience, but what does that really mean to you? Your answer to that question is what will truly make your essay stand out from the rest.